Shine with Kendell Lenice. Real talk for real people. Let's shine together.
Hey everybody, it's Kendell Lenice and welcome to Shine with Kendell Lenice. Thank you so much for joining us on this almost special edition because we want to talk about what's happening now. And normally I would do a show like this on reviews and news, my YouTube channel. But I said, you know what? I'm going to take this to my podcast because this is a real life issue. I'm a life coach. We talk about real life issues on this podcast, and I love to have amazing guests. So this season, this is the 8th season, you have heard my guest on this season, Dr. Leroy McKenzie Jr. We will be talking about Will Smith's slap that was heard around the world. Everybody is talking about Oscars 2022. Will Smith was up for an Oscar for leading man for King Richard, which was an amazing movie. Leroy and I do our show, More Than Just a Movie, where we talked about King Richard. Phenomenal movie. Will Smith deserved to be nominated. He played that part. So everyone was happy that Will was nominated. Everyone was saying Will was going to win this coveted award. Will was winning the Oscar. Will got dressed up with his wife Jada, his ex-wife, his boy Dwayne Martin, his children, Charlie Mack, Gammy. Everybody was there to see Will get it. It was a family affair, even family as far as Black folks. Everybody was looking forward to him winning. Serena and Venus and Anjanou Ellis, who played Orsine, the mother. This was a big time. Beyonce was singing It's Good to Be Alive, the Alive song from the movie that just makes you cry. No one's seen Beyonce perform in a few years because of COVID and then some. So everyone was excited to see the Oscars this year. And it hasn't been a buzz on the Oscar in a long time. So then, last night, when the Oscars had happened, my daughter sends a video and we see Will slapping Chris Rock and walking away. And they cut the audio so we didn't hear it. But Australia, they don't cut their audio. So that's what everybody heard. So then my other daughter sent it to me. Then I went on social media and everybody's like, what happened? Will Smith, what? Everybody was talking about it last night. And of course we wake up to it again. So here Leroy and I are. Today has been a very trying day for me emotionally. And I have taken a hiatus on a lot of different things, but we had to talk about this, and I had to talk about this with my boy, Dr. Leroy McKenzie Jr., who always has an opinion, and he had a strong opinion on social media today, so we're bringing it to Shine with Kendell Lenice. All right, Leroy, welcome to Shine with Kendell Lenice.
Good evening. Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you perfectly.
Oh, good.
All right, so we wanted to set the stage. We're not going to beat a dead horse, but we had to talk about this. All right, Leroy, so when did you first hear it? Was it last night or this morning? When did you see it?
Last night. I wasn't watching the Oscars. I did watch the intro with girl Regina Hall, Amy Schumer, and
Wanda Sykes.
Wanda Sykes. And Wanda Sykes. I watched a little bit of that intro and their jokes and everything like that. And then I turned back to I think I was watching the basketball game or something last night. So I didn't watch it. And plus I was doing some other work too. So I wasn't paying attention, but but then you know how you get you get notifications or you don't have your notifications off, so you get these notifications and stuff. And so I'm getting these, so I'm going like Will Smith smacks Chris Rock. I'm like, what? I'm like, I'm like, stop playing, because when you first hear it, you thought it was just a joke, and I still, like, some part of me is thinking that it was it had to have been some kind of joke, whatever. So that's how I heard about it, and I was like, yeah, they're gonna be talking about this all day today. I was like, I knew that was gonna be the only thing that folks talked about from the Oscars was gonna be Will Smith smack Chris Rock, and then playing over and over and over again. Not only the joke, but the part about Will Smith telling, Chris Rock, getting upset.
Wait a minute. Let's pause. Will literally just made a statement as we're speaking.
Oh, okay.
Let me read it. And then we'll go into what happens. Will just did this. Violence in all of its forms is poisonous and destructive. My behavior at last night's Academy Award was unacceptable and inexcusable. Jokes at my expense are part of the job, but a joke about Jada's medical condition was too much for me to bear, and I reacted emotionally. I would like to publicly apologize to you, Chris. I was out of line and I was wrong. I am embarrassed and my actions were not indicative of the man I want to be. There is no place for violence in the world of love and kindness. So that's what he just put on his IG. All right, so go back. Go back, Leroy, to what you were saying. I just wanted to, that literally, I feel like 2020. This just in. This report just in. But go ahead.
No, it was just about the notification. So I started looking and started seeing, they were talking about how Will, I guess the whole thing happened and turned about. And then, of course, you got everybody kind of saying, was that real? Mm-hmm. Was that real? It wasn't real. It was real. Did y'all see that? All of this stuff about the thing. And then, of course, all day today, that's all people have been talking about from the internet. And I mean, this has been on CNN, MSNBC.
Oh, it's going to be everywhere.
Morning shows. Everybody,
yeah.
Everybody has been talking about it.
So let's talk about a couple of things. And we're like I said earlier, y'all, we're not going to beat a dead horse, but we are going to talk about it. All right. So I have mixed emotions about it. First, I agree with Will. Violence is never the answer. His emotions were running high. Everybody has the place where their emotional intelligence is compromised, where you're a little extra emotional, and that's a learning experience. So I agree, violence is not the answer. And I'm not going to say however. I'm going to just leave that part there. Publicly, behind doors, wherever, it's never the answer. Let me just say that up front. Now, next point. Alopecia is real. I suffer from alopecia. Alopecia is hair loss. It's a medical hair loss. Jada has stated that she suffers from alopecia and she had to shave her head bald. Now, alopecia is very emotional. It's very debilitating. You're questioning everything, right? How you feel about you. What about what you used to have? Your hair is gone. They say hair is a woman's crown and glory. So her hair is gone. She had to shave it, not because she wanted to. Now, I've heard you say and people say, well, she shaved her head before. G.I. Jane is no big deal. It's different when you decide to do something or you're forced to do something. That's a whole different ball game. It comes with aging. It comes with medical. It comes with so many different things. Now, I hear a lot of people blaming Jada. Oh, it's her fault, August Alsina. He has nothing to do with this. People are saying, oh, August Alsina. Everybody is saying that. Why didn't he punch him? We don't know what happened behind closed doors, but we do know on 2 different occasions and on Red Table Talk that they talked about them being separated and they were free to do what they wanted to do. Will was dating someone else. She was dating someone else, right? So that's, to me, August has nothing to do with this. The entanglement, all of that, it's separate. But people want to bring everything in it. Now, what I loved about the moment, not the smack, not he shouldn't have put his hands on nobody. But what I loved about the moment is him seeing his wife. Because Will already said, if you've read his book, you know, like sometimes he laughs with nervous energy. It's not funny, but that's what he does because he's used to smoothing things over. Everything is right. Everything is okay. Let's make everything into a joke. So that's his first thing to do when he's nervous. He's said it before in many different interviews. So, but when I saw Jada's face, it broke my heart because I know what she experienced. I know what she's going through it. I am going through it right now. So I know what that feels like. So when I saw her face looking embarrassed, looking sad, Will saw it too. So Will was probably thinking about what their private conversations were like, the crying that she experienced, the back and forth that she experienced with alopecia and those private thoughts. He knows how she feels and how that affects her, and it's a tender subject. So we don't know, we're not privy to their conversations. This is me speculating their conversations based off of some of the things that they've said. So in 2016 at the Oscars, Chris Rock was going in on Jada before. He was going in on her, talking about her, saying Jada was boycotting Oscars. That's just like, saying, he made a joke saying like nobody invited her. So of course you can boycott because nobody cares if she comes. So he's already had Jada's name in her mouth. So I think, like Will said in his statement, emotionally, he got charged up and revved up and he was trying to fight for Jada's honor. And, it was the wrong place, wrong time. He could have gone to him later. But then when he was like, keep my wife's name out your mouth. Then he said it again, keep my wife's name out your MFing mouth. And everybody in Philly that I seen was like, you don't mess with no man's wife. You don't say this, you don't say that. And it was split when I saw it. Some people were for Will and some people were like, unacceptable. Will should not have done that. I see all angles. I think Chris was going way too far and going in, and whether it was on a teleprompter, whether he was making it up, I think he was going way too far in. And I think that Will should not have got up on that stage and put his hands on him. So I see both sides, and then I see Jada's side. People want to keep holding Jada, which makes me mad. Like, people want to keep holding what she did in their marriage, where they discussed, even when Will was talking to Gail, he was like, there was no infidelity. We decided to separate. We were going to end our marriage. She started dating other people. I dated other people. But people want to hold that as something for anything she does. Entanglement, August Alsina, there were 2 separate things. No matter what is saying, it is hard to keep a marriage together. And if they manage to do it 25 years, going through ups and downs, we just know about theirs. Some people that have been married for years go through things, but at the end of the day, they're still together. They're still married. And I think he was trying to defend his honor. Now, I'll say this, and then Leroy, you have the floor. I will also say this. If anybody has seen interviews, read Will's book, or listened to the audio book, then since he was a child, he felt like a coward. He would say that because at 9 years old, his dad beat his mom, and he felt like he couldn't defend her. So he is already dealing with that and how he was bullied and made fun of. And then when he got into rap and how his rap is bubblegum rap and it's soft and it's this and it's that. So you have all of that added to the mix. And then you have somebody antagonizing Chris, not once, not twice, but a couple of times. I think he just lost his wits. Then we saw Denzel that said, when you get to the top, the devil pretty much will be raging, and Tyler comforting him. I saw people saying, well, who comforted Chris? I'm sure that they did, but just because that was on camera, that's what they saw. So before Leroy speaks, and then he can have the floor for the rest, but I don't condone violence. I don't think he should have put his hands on him. I think that he could have waited, but he was emotionally driven, and sometimes they don't wait. But he could have waited and said, you know what? He could have said the same thing. Keep my woman's name out of your mouth. He could have said that behind closed doors and on a commercial break or what have you, and he didn't have to put his hands on him. But I think he could have still stepped to Chris and said, keep my woman's name out your mouth. She is going through this, that, and the third. All right, Leroy.
Well, first of all, let me ask you this. Did you hear the joke?
Yes.
That he said?
Yes.
What was the joke?
The joke was about G.I. Jane, and she was bald.
No, tell me what the joke was. What the joke actually was. Not what it was about, the actual joke itself.
That she can play. I forgot. I can't recite it word for word, but I did hear it. I heard it last night. I can't recite it. You can help us out, and you can recite it.
No, I'm asking because I didn't hear the joke.
No, he was talking about he
movie.
just kept talking.
The only part I remember is he said, I'll see you. He said, Jada, I'll see you in the movie. I can't wait to see you in the movie G.I. Jane 2.
But she's not in it. He was talking about her being bald, and I forgot, and I say I can't put no clip on because it's not clearanced. It's not a clearance on it, but he kept going and going and going. And you know how sometimes comedians want a bigger laugh, so they keep pressing the issue. And if you're already dealing with a hot topic or subject, then that kind of, it really, it's it hurts. It hurts. And it's different, like I said, when you have alopecia, I have it. So it's different when you can decide. So I think it was all of that. And it was an emotional night. I think it was all of that,
Well, like I said, I disagree because
That's
I believe that those comedians, and this wasn't the first time, and Chris Rock was just a presenter. He wasn't the host of the Oscars this year, but I've seen him, I've seen Dave Chappelle, I've seen Richard Pryor, I've seen Eddie Murphy, I've seen Paul Mooney. That's who I was trying to think of earlier. Mm-hmm. Paul Mooney, who have literally gone in on folks. Mm-hmm. I mean, we were like, that's what comedians do. They talk about people. They scan the room. And even earlier that night, even the beginning of the show, Regina Hall did a joke about Jada. And there was nothing.
Because they're friends.
But my point is, doesn't matter whether they're friends or not.
Did she talk about her hair? Did she talk about her alopecia? Did she talk about her alopecia?
Say it again?
Did she talk about Jada's alopecia?
She talked about the entanglement.
Yeah, right, but that's...
Her joke was about the entanglement.
Right, I understand that, but you have to understand that's different from a medical ailment.
It's jokes are jokes.
So, no, I disagree.
Wait a minute. So it's okay.
So if somebody joked about my cancer, is that a joke? Is that funny?
To me, cancer is off. I've never heard anybody joke about cancer.
No, but what I'm saying is a medical condition.
I've never heard anybody joke about cancer. Come on.
But
never.
But what I'm trying to say...
Have you ever heard a comedian joke about cancer?
I pull one up and let you see it.
Okay. Because I can't recall any major comedian that has joked about cancer.
No, what I'm saying is you have to understand alopecia is not cancer, but it is a medical condition, right? So to me, like, I think certain things are off limits. Now, if he went in, wanted to beat the dead horse and talk about the entanglement some more, then that's something else too. But then it's like, okay, even with that, whether it's Regina Hall or Chris Rock, like, is that going to be the running joke for the next 20 years? Like, it gotta be, but to me, I think she can, even if Chris Rock talked about the entanglement, I don't think that Will would have been upset about that. But I think it was the sensitivity of what he was talking about. That's what I think. And I get it with comedians. They joke, they make fun. I get it because it is true. The best comics talk about real life, right? And they bust on you and talk about, but I just think that certain things are off limits. That's just me. And maybe because I can see all sides. I see Chris Rock's side, I see Will Smith's side, and I see Jada's side. I do. I see all three of them. And that's what I try to do when I look at a situation. Like, I try not to just jump on one side. I try to really see all sides. You know, I see Chris, because Chris could have hit him back. Chris could have cussed him out. Chris couldn't, and he didn't. You know, Chris didn't, I think, for two reasons. I think first, he was shocked that he did that. And then we already know everybody hates Chris anyway. But I think that he didn't hit him. Chris could have reacted, but I think he got caught off guard, and he could have reacted, and he could have pressed charges, and he didn't. So kudos to Chris for that. Do I think Chris went overboard? Yes. Do I think Will Smith should have smacked him? No. Because I can see the anger in the anger and the frustration in Will. And when he went up there, I was like, huh? And then I saw Jada's face, and I felt her pain based off of us sharing that experience. But go ahead.
Well, no, I'm like I said, I totally disagree.
That's fine.
With it, and I, like I said,
that's why I have you on here.
I've seen comedians joke about, at the Oscars, at those other high, high end events and stuff like that have been on national TV. They go in on folks. And like I said, matter of fact, earlier that evening, Regina Hall does a joke about Jada. The women did a joke about it was an older white man that they talked about. They did a joke about. So, to me, I'm like, it is jokes. But nobody, the dude, he was supposed to sit there and just take it because it was from them. But Chris Rock gets up there and he says a joke about Jada that she does, and honestly, I think she's beautiful. I think she looks great with the short,
Me
with
too.
the short hair.
But
she was cute.
But it's
I
different.
She was beautiful.
Right, but it's different when you decide.
It's not a.
Because I've heard people with comments like that, like, well, this ain't this first time she had short hair. She been bald by choice. I've heard a lot of people say that, but it's different when you don't have a choice. And I think it's extra sensitive.
I'll continue to say it. I think that Will was weak. If that were Jimmy Fallon or a white comedian, he wouldn't have gone up there on the stage. If it were what's his name? Who did somebody say earlier? Terry Crews, he wouldn't have done it. If it were Rock, he wouldn't have gone up there. He wouldn't have done that. He would have sat there and he'd have took it.
You think so? So why do you think?
Wait a minute. Mm-hmm. You really think that Will Smith would have walked up on stage and smacked The Rock, and if he'd have said a joke about that, hosting the Oscars?
So why do you? So what is it? Because The Rock is bigger? Like why? I mean, why do you say that? Absolutely. Because of the respect level.
He could go up there, and Chris Rock probably wasn't going to retaliate just because of who Chris Rock is. Chris Rock is going to do exactly what he did last night, which was be professional. He was going to, maintain his composure, his cool, and play it off.
So you're saying
to do exactly that.
So you're saying some of the other ones, what you're saying?
Rock or Chris, Terry Crews might have gone off, hauled off, and punched him.
So you're saying some of the other ones might not have kept their cool?
Yeah, they might not have. But he didn't have to worry about, even if Chris Rock did lose his cool. He's like, I'm bigger than Chris. I can beat Chris.
See, do you think that it was that premeditated?
Yeah. Did you see how far he had to walk, Kendell?
Yeah, I did.
That's a long
You know
way
what
to
I
walk.
thought? You know what I thought, though?
And to think about hitting someone.
But you know what I thought? I said, dang, at any point in that walk, he could have turned around.
Absolutely.
That's what I did think that. And I was like, dang. But then the open hand slap, like I said.
Now,
I
Somebody
said,
made
like,
a really interesting good point
I
about that.
said,
Go ahead.
but it was like, I see all sides. Violence is never the answer. I don't think that he should have put his hands on anybody. I understand he was trying, like he said in his acceptance speech, he wanted to protect.
It was too late then.
It was
too late. Nobody last night. That was Will Smith's biggest. I think his biggest. Kind of like mountaintop type night.
Especially after the book, success, right? Especially after the book success, and the selling a gazillion books, and then having King Richard come out on the heels of that, and then winning the Emmy. No, winning what did he win? The other awards that he won leading up to the Oscar. So I agree. This was like a huge night. And every black person, every white person, everybody was rooting for Will Smith. Because Will Smith has always been the people's champ. Like he has 60 million followers on Instagram. He has his new show on Peacock. Like Will Smith has been the man and was the man, and he lost a lot of supporters yesterday. I'm not going to stop supporting him because I do understand a fallible woman such as myself. I do understand how people make mistakes and how people act quickly and how people, so I will definitely extend grace. I will not stop following him. I will not stop supporting him. I won't. Because people do make mistakes, but it's making your mistakes right and owning them and apologizing and not making excuses and all of that. So I can still extend grace to him. I'm not going to not stop, even though Chris Rock annoyed me with that comment and that was personal to me and how he kept going. I'm not going to say, oh, I hate Chris Rock now or he should have did. I'm not going to pit them against each other. If I support Will, then I can't support Chris. I'm not going to do that either. And I'm not going to, what I'm also not going to do is blame Jada because it's not her fault. People want to blame Jada. That's still his wife at the end of the day. And a man's role is to protect his wife. And so I get that side of it. And you have it split the middle. People like, you don't be talking about people's wives. Keep my wife's name out your mouth. People have been saying that. So then you have that. Then you have what else Will Smith was dealing with. And then you have Chris Rock going too far. So it's just a lot all across the board. But I was like, daggone. When I first saw it, I was like, is this real? Is this live on Memorex? Is this fake? Is he going to smile? But what kind of sealed it for me is when he said, keep my wife's name out of your MFing mouth. And he said that a couple times and I could see the look in his eyes and his face. I was like, this ain't a joke. This is for real.
Like I said, I disagree with you all that you said about Jada. This is about Jada because Will Smith doesn't go up there if it weren't for Jada.
But what I'm saying is it's not her fault. Just because he was defending her, she didn't do anything wrong. It's not her fault.
Well, no, I mean...
That's what I mean. That's what I mean.
Ultimately, the person has to deal with what he did.
Right, but it's not...
Time, like you said, he could have stopped.
But I'm sure Jada didn't say, we'll go up there.
What I'm saying, Kendell, can I speak, please?
Yeah.
I haven't been able to really talk.
Go ahead.
What I'm saying is one, Will Smith didn't even have to be there with her. I know you loved Will and Jada together and all this, that, and the other, but I'm going to tell the truth. And the truth of it is, this woman is a woman who did not want to be married to him. She said that. She said that she did not want to get married. She has lived her life for other people, including Will. Inside of Will, not including Will, but inside of that marriage, that relationship. The marriage is toxic, just like Whitney and Bobby's relationship marriage was toxic. And I'm going to call it what it is and see it for what it is. And Will, for whatever reason, I'm not inside their marriage. I don't know what what the ins and outs of it is, but from what I can see and what I've heard them talk about, that's a marriage that is only together because, and I'm going to say it just like this, and you might not like it and everything else, and those that listen to you may say it too, that the only reason that Will is in the marriage is because he does not want to reap the financial repercussions like he did from his first marriage, where he would lose a whole lot of money. Not saying that he doesn't care about Jada and everything like that. He may love her, but I believe that he's only there. I believe Jada's only there because of that, and it's coming out in their relationship. It came out with them bringing that in that whole issue with August to the red table. If it wasn't like you were saying, if it was where they were separated and they were seeing other people and everything like that, then why was it brought to the red table? It would have just been, hey, he was doing his thing, she was doing her thing. We good. There was nothing to be talked about. But it was brought to the red table because the relationship that they had within it, and they were just separated. It wasn't like they were divorced. They were separated. There's a difference between separated and being divorced. So it did, and I know you said that it didn't have to do anything with August Alsina, but here's my thing about that, and I've said it yesterday and I'll say it again today, that you can get upset and you can go and put your hands on a man for telling a joke about your wife, but you're okay with a man sleeping with your wife and you say nothing. That, to me, is what I was saying, what I say about how the August Alsina event or situation and this Chris Rock situation, you got that kind of energy towards a man that tells a joke. Jada wasn't in any kind of danger. He wasn't stepping to Jada, in her face and saying this, that, and the other. He was telling jokes. He was telling a joke. But August Alsina slept with your wife. We can say that they were separated. That was still his wife. At the end of the day, it was still his wife. She chose to sleep with him. He chose to sleep with her at the end of the day. And Will was okay with it. And he was okay with it because they have this so-called open marriage. So people, and I'll say it again, you can miss me with the, he was protecting his wife. No, he wasn't. Will was protecting his ego last night because his ego was bruised. Not Jada, because he had actually laughed. He was actually laughing and then looked over at her and saw she wasn't laughing. And then it was like, boom, something clicked. Oh, I got to do something. It's on an international stage, not a national stage. It's on this international stage. He's joking my wife. I gotta do something because people already see me as this, bubblegum dude that can't stand up for his wife. And he's had that pushed in front of him from Tupac, from the relationship that Jada had with Tupac to all the other, the other things that people have said about him being soft and everything like that. So I think that was a culmination of that. I don't believe that it was, that it had to do with, he feels like he has to protect his wife and everything like that. Because like you said, at the end of the day, he could have handled it. Will Smith, who is the consummate professional, could have waited till after the Oscars, pulled Chris up after backstage, like, Chris, dog, brought Jada with him. Look, bro, that wasn't cool. That was not cool. Jada, you know how she feel, or if you don't know, she has a real, she really is bothered by having this, this illness and everything like that. Really bothered her, bro. We need to stop that. And the sad thing is nobody else is talking about anything else with the Oscars, and you had again 2 black men who are the talk of the international media in this negative way. And here's what was missed. Last night, Samuel Jackson received that beautiful award that had Denzel Washington introduce him, and it was a beautiful thing seeing them embrace each other. It was two brothers like, dog, I'm happy for you. I'm right here with you, celebrating you. I'm introducing you. I'm right here. And nobody said anything about that. Nobody has talked about that. I had a couple, maybe one or two people on my Facebook friends that posted the picture of Denzel and Samuel Jackson, saying this is what we should be talking about, not Will Smith smacking Chris Rock. You know, so I'm sorry. I have, and I know you like Will and Jada, but I'm sorry. I have no feelings for Will and Jada because they've lived their life and put their life out there in public. And when you do that, comedians are going to joke. I'm sorry. Comedians are going to joke. They're going to do it because that's what comedians do. Like you said, comedians joke about real life things. You know, I'm sorry.
Okay, I didn't want to cut you off, so I wanted to make sure you got your full statement out. Yeah, I guess it's just because of the conversation. So was not trying to cut you off or not let you speak. Definitely want you to speak. That's why I have you on here. So my apologies for that. You said a lot of things. I still don't think that August Alsina has nothing to do with this. But no matter what Will and Jada does, it's going to circle back to that. And I think that they're isolated things. I don't think that they have anything to do with each other. And we don't know what happened behind closed doors with Will and August. We have no idea, so we can't say, oh, he didn't step to him. We don't know that. It could have very well happened. We don't know that. We have no clue.
Do you really think that if Will had put his hands on August Alsina, that wouldn't be out there?
We don't know. We don't know.
No.
It could be an NDA. It could be anything.
If Will Smith had put his hands on August Alsina, that would not be out in the news.
We don't know. We don't know what happens behind closed doors. We don't. So we don't know. So I can't say he did or didn't, but it doesn't have anything to do with the Oscars. One has nothing to do with the other. And you said that I love Will and Jada. No, it's not that I love Will and Jada. I love people when they're honest. I love people when they show the flawed sides. I love people when they don't act like they all pretentious and got it all together and right. I loved flawed people. I'm sorry, I do. So that's what I love about them. I love the courage to be open and honest. And the reason why they brought it to the red table is because they were asked to, because it was in the headlines, as it was news, so they wanted to make it clear. People kept asking them to talk about it. That's why they talked about it. So it wasn't like they just wanted to jump on there, and I think it was excellent for relationships. See, Leroy, you've never been married, so you don't understand those dynamics. They're totally different. You're speaking from a place which you know nothing about, all due respect. Marriage is totally different than you think it is by looking at somebody else or just judging someone else's marriage. Is totally different. It's totally different when you're in it, when you're in the trenches. I'm telling you, my brother, it ain't no walk in the park always. It's totally different. No matter, people show you what they want you to see. So that's what I'm saying. You don't understand that dynamic. You will, and you'll see the difference. So it's not that I love them. I love honesty, and I love flawed people to be able to speak their truth, and you can try to see the growth and the healing in it. That's what I love about them too. And even loving them, I still don't condone Will's behavior. I don't condone anyone going to step to them. I'm saying I can understand and give him grace and understand what he's saying and what happened. And I can respect any man who can apologize. Now, he won the award, and you can tell he was still emotional when he did the acceptance speech. And, and he probably was regretful. He was saying different things, and he was, very emotional even with that, and crying because he did realize he made a mistake, but then he was trying to tell you what happened. And sometimes we flub as human beings. We make mistakes. And if Chris Rock can forgive him, I can forgive him. Because Chris Rock was like, I'm not pressing charges, I get it, and them having a private conversation, and hopefully they will be able to, if they haven't already, they will be able to have a conversation. Now, I do agree with you when you talked about Samuel L. Jackson and Denzel and them sharing that moment, and Chris Rock and Will was overshadowed that brotherly love, and I don't like that, and overshadowing maybe Beyonce and Regina Hall and all of the amazing Black people who participated in the Oscars, and it was blacker than it's ever been. So even today I heard somebody saying, oh, what's wrong with Will Smith? He was stupid. I heard, and it was a white person, and it made me cringe because I'm like, dang, go on it. So as a Black person, we did take the L, but we're not responsible. And we did see other images. We saw Tyler Perry and Denzel, even if they believe that Will was wrong, anybody, well, I can't say anybody because some people say Will was right. He deserved to get slapped. He shouldn't have been talking about his wife. I've seen people say that. But if someone that maybe not condone violence, I still like the fact that Tyler and Denzel still wrapped their arms around him, even if they didn't agree with him. And as a community, we don't always have to agree. We have to recognize, what's wrong, but be able to still extend grace because we all make mistakes. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think that, and I get what you're saying about the joke, and it was a joke and she can't take a joke. But I just don't think August Alsina has anything to do with that. That's just my opinion.
Right. We'll agree to disagree on that because I think, like I said, his reaction to one and the non-reaction to the other is the point that I'm trying to make.
But we don't know if he had a non-reaction.
Well, you keep saying we don't know.
We don't.
But we don't know. We don't know. The only thing that we know about last night was that Chris Rock told a joke. At the bottom line, Chris Rock told a joke about one person in the audience, that the other comedians who were hosting the show did the very same thing about other people in the audience.
No, I get it.
Will Smith was the only one that got upset.
I get it. I get it. And that's why we were having this conversation, because people are split.
Here's the bigger picture of that. Because not only, like you said, was the Oscars, was more blacker than ever before. The producer or the overall person was Will Packer, a Black man.
Mm-hmm.
His staff, all Black.
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think is going to happen next year when those folks go into the planning of the Oscars? All they're going to think about is what happened last year with Will Packer being at the head of...
But he doesn't have anything to do with that, though.
The whole Oscars program.
But Will Packer don't have nothing to do with that. But I don't think Will Packer... And also, when you look at Will Smith and Chris Rock, and I hate to say this because it sounds ignorant, but I'm going to say it anyway, they safe Negroes. The white folks love them. You get what I'm saying? And sometimes it's not like... I don't think Will Packer would be, I hope he's not going to be looked at as in taking Will Smith's actions, because those were Will Smith's actions and nobody can take ownership or responsibility for his actions but him. That's it.
Yeah, but you and I both know how they look at us when something like that happens.
Yeah.
They look at it. That's all of us. That last night was the Source Awards. That last night was these other quote unquote, as they'll say. This is what I'm assuming is going to be the conversation in those boardrooms. This was nothing. We can't have. This is not those kinds of award shows.
So, do you think Will should be? Do you think Will's Oscar should be taken, even though that was for his performance?
Say that again.
Do you think Will Smith's Oscar should be taken because he still did win it for his performance?
Honestly, no.
Okay.
I mean, like you, I'm still a Will Smith fan. I'm not going to stop supporting him. Just like folks got upset about Bill Cosby. I still love Bill Cosby. still think I take nothing away from what that man has done for black colleges, for black people, and for us as black men. I take nothing. I can't take any of that away, even though you don't agree with what, like you were saying, you don't agree with what they did for that moment, those things that they did. He's human, just like all the rest of us.
And when I think about rape and I think about underage kids, that's like a soft spot to me. When you're talking about underage kids with Bill Cosby and R. Kelly, I can't.
That was one underage kid.
No, I'm saying with Bill Cosby and R. Kelly. Like, I can't.
Well, no, there's two totally different things. R. Kelly was underage. Bill Cosby, they were grown adults. Except
a couple. But I get it.
All the ones that I know about were adults. They were adult women. They were not children. Mm-hmm. You may know more than I do because, this is what you talk about. But I get what you're saying. But my thing is, with that, Will is still, he's still a great actor. He's still a great person. I think he's a good-hearted person. I think he's a great person. But that goes to, and I gotta go. But that goes to what I was saying before about him being like he has to live in this bubble. He has to live in this thing that he's in, and he can't get out.
Yeah,
to me, it's hard. Part of that frustration.
Yeah, because it's hard to be perfect, or for people to think you're one way, and you can't let the other side out. Like, I think that has to be hard. I agree with you 100% when you're in this bubble and people see you this one way, and it's like you built your career around it. Now, in his book, he calls it, his therapist calls it Mr. Fluffy, like that wants to please everybody, that wants to make everybody happy, that wants to make everybody laugh. And that's Mr. Fluffy was the one running his career.
Right.
So.
And Hollywood will do that to you. You and I both know that. We've seen it done to a lot of folks.
Yeah.
That thing it'll chew you up and spit you out and not care about anything about you.
Yeah.
It'll consume you. It'll make you just do things that you never thought you would ever see, somebody do. Like last night. Who would have ever thought that Will Smith would have walked up on a stage and smacked Chris Rock?
Nobody.
Nobody would tell you that they would have seen that they would have thought that.
No, because I watched it and couldn't even believe my own eyes.
Yeah.
And I was like, this can't, like, it was like surreal. I thought it was like a joke. I thought somebody was going to laugh afterwards. Like, it was surreal because I don't think people could have bet their house, their cow, all their money in the world, and nobody would have ever guessed that Will Smith would have done that. And nobody would have guessed that he would have done it to Chris Rock. And nobody would have guessed that that whole situation would have happened. Like, nobody.
Absolutely.
So I agree
with you. I really hope that, like you were saying, I really hope that they sit down and talk with each other, that they hash that thing out. Just like with that beef with D.L. Hughley and
Kanye
and Kanye West.
Mm-hmm.
This is dumb stuff, man. This is stuff that is
I agree with you. I think that if we sit down and be able to have conversations and to have mediators, to have counselors, that we can have a lot of these hard conversations, and most importantly, these public makeups. You know what I mean? And to apologize and to really be able to build. No, I know you got to go. I respect your opinion, Leroy. That's why I had you on here, because you give it to us straight. No chaser. You got your opinion, and you like a dog with a bone. You hold on to it. And I respect that.
I think it all boils down to what I know you know a lot about, which is mental health.
Yeah. Yeah, because when people are stressed to the capacity, like, because I came out of hiding to do this show with you. I haven't done anything in like 2 weeks because I'm dealing with my own stuff, dealing with life. But it is important to really, in mental health, is mental health. It's not illness. It's mental health, like taking care of it, being able to be stress-free, take a break from work, like all of the things that he might need to do, take a break from people to really handle, his feelings and the emotions, and maybe all of this was running, and he didn't take a break, and it came out on, whatever, so it is mental health. Mental health is like physical health. Like, you go get your physical to check just to make sure you do things to breathe and to really take care of that, because Tracy Morgan, talking about comedians, and then we'll end, Tracy Morgan said, life has teeth and it bites, and it's so true.
Yep.
And you're going to be able to, and he said that one time on the Breakfast Club, and I was like, he ain't lying. It does. Yeah. So you got to take that moment to just breathe. But we love both those brothers, Will Smith, Chris Rock. Yeah. We love Denzel. We love Samuel L. Jackson. We love, Tyler Perry. And all of those black men were there. And one way or another, they were supporting each other. So hopefully they can come together, even if Denzel or Samuel Jackson has to mediate or they have a conversation. Right. I do want to see them make up in public, and I do want everybody, since this was an international stage, I want everyone to see them make up, and I want this to be a win for us.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Absolutely.
I do. I know you got to go, but I appreciate you. And I am sensitive with alopecia, because that thing is no joke, and people don't know. So that whole page was blowing up like, he should have hit her because people don't know. Right. And I'm like, I can't condone saying he should have hit him, but he should have handled it differently. I really do. I understand the sentiment. He should have just handled it differently. But we love all of these brothers, and we love you guys. Thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment, let Leroy and I know what you think. I know it's a mixed bag. Everybody is split down the middle. Some feel the same way I do and Leroy combined, because we don't know how to feel, because it was a shock to us, but we definitely wanted to bring it to you. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to Shine with Kendell Lenice. God bless. Peace. All right, Leroy, thank you.
Okay.
All right. Thanks for listening. This has been a Kenny Lynn production.